That's correct. You win.
30 seconds at the most, man. This was a piece of cake. If she thought she was going to beat me, she had another thing coming.
I peed myself on the way up.
Welcome back to the show. I've got not only a two-time challenge champ, Ashley Brooke-Mitchell, with me, but she's an incredible puzzler. Ashley, how's it going?
It's awesome. How are you? I'm in an airport, so I'm doing my best just to talk to you today. I'm really excited to be here.
Well, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. You're on the go. Now, Ashley, before I get into last night's episode, I have to take it back to that clip from last week where you were thrown into elimination that no one but viewers were able to see. Were you worried when you got lost on the trail that you would be the one going home? That was a very dire moment.
Okay, first of all, I got lost twice, and these weren't like quick. Like, I was lost for 5 to 10 minutes. I was screaming, I was cussing. I'm like, I can hear the drones. I'm cursing at them. Oh my, you see me at one point, I flip off the cameraman because I was like, I know y'all saw me go the wrong way and you just let me go. I was heated and scared, and I knew I couldn't quit though.
No, you never give up. I mean, you're a puzzle queen. Did you actually pee on the trail when you were there?
Well, yeah, because I was ahead of Nani by a lot. And then when I got lost, I knew I didn't have a second. I did not have a second to wait. I didn't have time to go pop a squat, as they say. So, honey, I just let it go, and because I knew I didn't have a second to waste.
It's all about the challenge,
really
baby. Well, you're a two-time.
It's all about the money.
It's all about that money. You're a two-time champ. I mean, do you still feel that people view you as an underdog? You've won twice.
No, I really felt like that coming into this season because I keep a diary and I'm like, I don't know, I'm one of the weakest girls, I think, but I'm just going to keep my head up. And then all season long, people like Jordan and Tori, once we switched teams, they were like, Ashley's the strongest one on the Americans, and Zach was always giving me props. So this season, I kind of was surprised by how much people were giving me the credit that I finally deserve, I feel like.
Yeah, this season feels different than all the others. The alliances that were formed have been crazy. I actually want to jump into last night's episode where it seemed like all the hard work your alliance put in started to essentially unravel as we saw Pauly just flame out when your team needed him the most. Let's take a look.
My body is completely dead, and I can barely breathe at this point. I'm a little worried because right now, I'm dead weight.
My whole body's cramping.
Come on, guys.
I mean, Pauly can talk the talk, but he cannot walk the walk. Earlier in the episode, he said that he felt was at peak performance. In fact, he hammered it into everyone. What was that like to see him in this moment?
Well, I mean, I'm not good with partners, so I've always say what I'm thinking. So of course, y'all know me. I couldn't help but just yell at everyone, and I didn't know what to do because I'd never seen him like that. You can't help when you get overheated and you get heat stroke, and maybe we just didn't drink enough water. We didn't think the final was going to start the next day. Like, I literally did my elimination the night before, so we just weren't prepared, and having the numbers didn't help us. It actually hurt us, and that was something I was not prepared for. So.
Do you feel bad a little bit about how you acted? I mean, even when Pauly was flaming out, you were just kind of like, we got to go. Let's move.
Honey, it's $4 million. He's lucky I didn't grab him by his hair and just pull him down the jungle because, I mean, I don't feel bad. And they know me. They know I'm a talker. They know in the middle of the competition, I can't control my emotions. So, I mean, once they kind of yelled at me, there's nothing we can do, I backed off a little bit. I understood what was going on. But, honey, at first I was about to kick him in the side and come on, let's go. Leave your boyfriend in the jungle to die. He's gone. He's a victim of the challenge.
I mean, I love it. You are no BS this season. I actually want to take it back to earlier in the episode where Cara Maria started to break down during the math checkpoint. I had to laugh, but let's take a look at it.
Concentrate, Cara.
Cara, it's okay. Cara.
Down.
-8 and 6. -6.
This is your 9th final and you're crying over a math problem. What's going on? I'm so mad at her right now, honestly. I could spit.
I mean, she even freaked out during the eating challenge. What was it like to watch a 9-time finalist and someone from your alliance crack under the pressure like this?
I don't know. And she's someone I've always looked up to in the challenge because she's a for real badass. And I love the female empowerment. there's no way you can't give her credit for everything she's accomplished. I don't know what really happened to her. I feel like Pauly was breaking down and she had more pressure. I think having Pauly around makes her like a little more nervous sometimes, but I've never ran a final with her before. So this time I was like, this is not the Cara that I've seen on TV. So I don't know. I was honestly flabbergasted. And honey, I was just stressed. I'm thinking, oh my Lord. Because I know that, you know, the first day of a final is not the last. And I'd rather be in second place on the first day to give myself a little bit of like fire under my butt.
Yeah.
But so I still was being pretty positive all the way up. So.
I mean, listen, I wouldn't want to eat like a live maggot, worm, whatever was going on either, but she's been in the final 9 times. So I was a little shocked, actually. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
Shocked.
Honey, once I get to the final and there's an eating challenge, I'm thinking, hell, I haven't ate anything else all day. And I don't know what it is. I kind of black out because when I watch it on TV, I'm gagging. I'm like, oh, like I can't even watch it. But I don't know. When it comes down time for it, honey, I'll do just about anything TJ tells me to in that final.
Well, listen, it's for $1 million. I actually want to talk about it because Zach constantly talked about Ninja being the weakest player on Team USA. I mean, he talked about it all season long. But after seeing the way Cara Maria was during both the math and eating checkpoint, do you think maybe you formed your alliance with the wrong people?
Yeah. See, listen, I came into this season all alone. So the first people that threw me a bone, I was going to hop onto it like a present on Christmas morning because I had nothing. I had nothing. So I was in the room with them and they kind of Pauly just kind of pulled me to a side one day and it's like, if we vote this way, we can all work together. And I'm like, oh, thank you, Jesus, because I was just floating until someone grabbed me. Now, Jordan and Tori had both came up to me multiple times throughout the season and asked me to work with them too. But I'd already formed this alliance. And no matter what people say about the whole Hunter thing, I'm actually very loyal to my alliances. So I felt bad, like turning my back on these people. And I was also making friends with them. So it's like,
right.
Would have been smarter for me to team up with Tori, Jordan, and Zach. Obviously.
Okay, that's what I thought. I knew you were going to say that. I knew it. Well, you know,
but, I don't regret it. I don't regret it, honestly, because, I mean, that they don't show just us sitting around laughing, talking about, like, the bad things in our past, the good things in our future. So, I mean, we really did become close. It's not just all competitions and drinking and things like that.
Well, listen, I mean, drinking is also fun too. I'm not going to lie. I mean, you guys have set yourself up for a number of different challenges moving forward, which I'm so excited about. But speaking of Ninja previously, she was on our show here a few weeks ago, and she actually left you a message. Let's take a look.
Oh, God.
It's Natalie here, aka Ninja, and just between us, if you could choose one person to be in your alliance that wasn't this season, who would it be?
Who's your pick, Ashley? Who's your pick? Gotta be honest.
Oh, who would I pick to be in my alliance?
Yeah, who wasn't already,
oh,
yeah.
Oh, gosh. I wouldn't say really anyone because I didn't really get on with anyone that much. We didn't really get along, but I mean, obviously Zach, but he was a floater anyway. So maybe Jordan, because Jordan is just so good, but he's hard to work with in a team. He's very like a little judgmental and always watching what you're doing. Like, so I don't know. I like our alliance the way it was. I don't know who I want to pick.
A lot of people would say that, you know, this season was really about the numbers and you guys playing sort of a scared game, or at least Pauly and Cara playing a scared game. Do you think?
I don't think it's a scared game. It's a smart game. TJ always used to say, the way to make it to a final is don't go to elimination. Honey, if I never have to see the elimination floor, I'll shake hands with the devil because I hate the elimination floor. So.
Fair enough, but you know that with the numbers, you sort of turned Jordan into an underdog, and I don't think anyone sort of thought that Jordan was an underdog going into it. Do you regret that a little bit?
Well, I mean, a little bit because, I mean, from our point of view, he was the villain, and that's what I say. In everyone's story, you're the villain in somebody's story. That's just the way the world is. And so even though he was the villain in our story, it comes to find out when these episodes get edited, he's the kind of like the hero or the underdog. So, I mean, I actually get on with him and Tori, so I think he's a great competitor. but we definitely gave him a lot of airtime.
Oh, yeah, you did. Well, even though Team USA wasn't having an easy time, it wasn't smooth sailing for Team UK either. They actually had a 10-minute penalty stop down. What was going on? I mean, I've never seen CT be so aggressive, at least not recently.
Yeah, I don't know what was going on either. See, I was telling my team I like to stay in the second on these long runs. I like to stay close to the person in the lead because you're letting them set the pace and tiring out. But we've got a lot of guys with big egos on both teams. So Paulie wasn't letting them pass. They didn't want to be in second place. So it was like a literal war in the jungle. That's not a joke. There was not enough room for both of these. I'm like, I got my head smashed into a tree. So it was wild out there.
They do not play. Well, we told the Twitterverse that you would be here today, and one user had a question about who some might call the unsung hero of Team USA. At Too Bad to Bougie wants to know, how big of an asset was Leroy in the final?
Okay, well, this is another thing. Leroy's the only boy who carried that thing the whole time so far. So, I mean, at this point, I think Zach has only carried it once or once and a half times. The other boys on the UK team, they carried it the whole time thus far. So Leroy's the only guy who really stood up to the plate. And, you know, people called him like the little engine that could, or like, you know, some people in the house always have slick stuff to say. But Leroy literally was. He kept the composure. He kept the positivity. And, I mean, I just love Leroy as a friend, as a brother, and as a competitor. He's a good guy.
As of right now, where we are in the finale, based on performance alone, in your opinion, excluding you, who do you think should win the challenge?
Oh, goodness. Like, which team, or do you think which people?
Which people?
I mean, obviously me, because I'm like the funniest competitor. I'm the hardest working. No, I'm just kidding. But,
I agree.
I really want Cam and Leroy to get their first win.
Yeah.
I also want Tori to get her first win. I love people getting their first win. And I got to tell you, I mean, Jordan is probably one of the best people to ever play this game. I've never seen someone compete like him. He doesn't just use like his endurance. He has a lot of brain he works hard, or works easy, not harder. So, I mean, I don't think there's anybody that's in this final that doesn't deserve it, in my opinion. I think if y'all saw how much we trained, I've never seen a challenge house where people were training all day long, every day, swimming. Like, we were all here for the money. We weren't partying. We weren't getting blackout drunk like they do in some seasons. We were here for the money, and that's the truth.